from our Boca Raton location. And she's going to give our student speech to share about her Leadership College experience. And if you were with us last May during our Heart for the House series, you probably heard a little bit of Tracy's journey and her story of healing and what the Lord has done in her life. And I think you're in for a treat to get to hear from an amazing student, an amazing leader. So Tracy, come on up. I'm excited for our students and our families to hear from you. So,
well, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Tracy Inverso, and I was so excited to have been considered for Leadership College. And now the opportunity to speak here at graduation feels even more humbling and significant. It is a true honor to stand before you all today. When I began my journey in Leadership College, I told Jill Hare, my friend, our cadre leader, and our Boca campus coordinator that I felt completely unqualified. Truthfully, I felt broken and unsure that I could ever possibly have anything to offer. I was what my husband likes to call a true soup sandwich, a real mess. Thankfully, God, in his goodness, had already prepared the way for me. His timing, as always, is perfect. So 2 years before I started this program, I lost my son, Logan. He was our sweet 11-year-old special needs angel boy. I was his full-time caregiver, and most of my identity was completely wrapped in that role. So when he passed, not only did I experience the most unnatural heartbreak a parent can endure, I also, it shattered the rhythm of my life. I felt lost. I no longer knew what God's purpose was for me. Though I still was a wife to my husband, Jonathan, and a mother to our beautiful daughter, Taylor, I felt like my hands were empty and so was my heart. But God, in that quiet and painful space of grief, was working. He was not rushing me, but he was actually preparing me. And 2 years later, when my feet were a bit steadier, he gently opened the door to Leadership College. I did not know then what God had planned for my future, but looking back, I can see he knew exactly what he was doing, what I needed, and exactly when I needed it. The first semester of Leadership College focused on self-leadership. That literally changed everything for me. In the book, The 100X Leader, I read, if you are healthy and have the tools, then your job is to reproduce that health in others. That truth hit me deeply because I wasn't just learning to be a leader. I was actually being healed, equipped, and reminded that God was not finished with my story. So through every book, every discussion, and every uncomfortable moment of growth, God kept whispering to me, you are still called. I'm not done with you. In Emotionally Healthy Spirituality, Peter Scazzaro writes, you cannot be spiritually mature while remaining emotionally immature. That truth really pierced through some of my old ways of just surviving. I began to surrender not just my pain, but my assumptions, my fears, and my belief that I had nothing left to give. The more that I allowed God to speak into those places, the more I began to realize I am not just surviving anymore. I'm leading, and I'm not leading out of perfection, but out of authenticity. The concept of being a Sherpa leader, as my fellow graduates are familiar with, also transformed my perspective. I did not need to be someone shouting directions from the mountaintops. I just needed to walk alongside others, carrying some of the weight and encouraging them one step at a time. That's what I try to do now in my home, as a wife and a mom, in the salon where I lead with a lighter heart, and at our Boca campus, where I serve with a renewed purpose. I lead not from a platform, but from a place of compassion and calling. Leadership College did not save me from my grief, but it was part of God's beautiful plan to rebuild me within it. It has helped me reclaim who I am, not just who I was as Logan's mom, but who I still am in Christ. I am a child of God who is learning, leading, and letting Him write the next chapters. In Romans 8:28, it says, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose." I see that truth unfolding in my life in ways I never expected. God is using even my deepest pain to shape a new purpose. At the beginning of this year, God gave me a word, go. Not strive, not hustle, and not prove, but go. Go with confidence, go with peace, and go with surrender. And now as I graduate from Leadership College, I go with a true, deeper understanding of who God is, who I am, and how I've been called to love and lead others. So as I look out at each of you today, I am truly overwhelmed with gratitude for the journey we have all walked together. We have grown not just in leadership skills, but in faith, trust, knowledge, and character. We have prayed together, we have served together, and we have been stretched far beyond our comfort zones. Let us remember that growth doesn't always go in straight lines or according to our timing. It comes in every surrender and in every step of obedience to God. And in those moments, He is shaping us, not just into better leaders, but into people who reflect His heart. And so, as we step into what's next, whether it's leading here at Christ Fellowship, in our homes, our workplaces, or communities, I want you to hold this truth close. God has a plan for each of us, and His timing is always perfect. So thank you, and congratulations to my fellow graduates, class of 2025.